Hello and welcome to another fly tying session with your host Scott. In this session I'm going to show you how to tie a palmered hackle. This is actually a more advanced part of fly tying, but it just so happens to be this is what I need to do for this pattern at the moment. So I will show you how to tie a basic hackle in a later video. And basically what I've got here is a cape. This is a cock cape, an Indian cock cape, and it's in ginger. And we're going to use this because it's got a variety of different length feathers, and they're the right colour for the particular pattern. What you'll find is with these capes is the feathers with the longer barbs will be at the top here. Oh, actually, it sits like that on the bird, sorry, so it should be lower down. But closer to the head end of the cape is where you get your shorter barbed feathers. So you want to find a feather that's both the right length in barb and right length in order to wind along the shank of the hook, which can be quite challenging. But after a while you get a feel for it. So to make sure that you've got one that's the right length, you can basically tease the barbs back and put it up against the shank of the hook like that, and that'll give you an idea of how long they will be once it's wound on. And I quite like that length that we've got there. And what you'll find with these feathers is there's quite a lot of fluff, so you just pinch and go against the grain, as it were, to tear that away. You don't want to use that in the pattern. And then you're going to get the stalk and tie this in at the head, like so. You need quite a few turns to get it to lock off properly, and then you're going to trim away the excess. Add a few more turns if you feel it needs it. It doesn't always need it. And then we're going to get ourselves some hackle pliers. Now you can use these. These are traditional English hackle pliers, and to use those, you basically they work like a spring-loaded pair of pliers that you'd use in DIY, and you just grab the end of the feather like so. These work in a slightly different way. You put them in like a notch and then let them come back on themselves, and they hold the feather in that way. So normally with a palmered hackle you want to do at least a full turn at the head. I like to do 2, and I'm going the opposite way to the thread, and then you want to start winding it like a rib but backwards, like so. I want to keep it evenly spaced. You want to go all the way down to the bend of the hook with it till you get to about there. Then you're going to get your rib material. You've got to keep the feather tight, but not too tight because it will break. And then you're going to wind the opposite way with your rib. Once you've got one full turning, you can let go and wind it like you'd wind any other rib. And then once your rib's up at the head, you can tie in the rib. I normally do 3 for luck. It's actually 4, but there we are. If you count the number of turns properly, you can reduce the bulk, but I felt I needed another one there. Sometimes you just get a feel for it. So then you're going to trim away as close as you dare, and then you're going to get this end of the feather, and you're going to come in and trim that fairly close as well. And then to tidy it up, you're going to push these fibres back between finger and thumb, and then start tying your head. Now you go to the eye to tie the head and you work back. Like so. And there we are. That's how you tie a palmered hackle. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.